Welcome to another planning appeal case study video. I'm John Peters from Hill Planning. In this video we look at a recent appeal that was submitted to the Planning Inspectorate against a decision issued by Stockport Metropolitan Council for a double-storey side extension. Stockport Metropolitan Council refused this application on the 22nd of February after originally validating it on the 15th of December. Their reasons were stated as the proposal for a two-storey side extension by virtue of its design and massing would have an adverse impact on the character and appearance of the host dwelling and surrounding area. As such, it's considered to be contrary to provisions of Policies SIE-1, Quality Places, of the adopted Core Strategy DPD, saved Policy CDH1.8, residential extensions of the Stockport Unitary Development Plan review and extensions and alterations to the Existing Dwellings SPD and the National Planning Policy Framework. The appeal statement for this case that is being shown now was produced specifically to overcome the refusal reasons issued by Stockport Metropolitan Council for this application. As with many of these types of refusals, the reasons are very subjective and as such require a comprehensive and robust detailed appeal statement. Never underestimate the level of detail needed, covering policies both locally and nationally, and where possible bringing other approvals and appeals into that argument. I'll explain later in more detail what and how to achieve this. The Planning Inspectorate visited the site on the 12th of July and issued a decision on the 25th of August. We're pleased to share that this appeal was successful as detailed in the Planning Inspector's report. If you'd like a free no obligation consultation with myself or one of our planning appeal assessment specialists, telephone 01743 369 911 or email appeals@planningappealsuk.com. This planning appeal was classed as a householder appeal and dealt with by way of written representation. What this means is the appeal has 12 weeks from the refusal date to be submitted to the Planning Inspectorate, taking the decision out of the local authority's control and to be decided by an independent planning inspector. No further information or evidence can be submitted after that date, so it is vitally imperative that the appeal statement is comprehensive, robust and with sufficient detail and argument to overcome the refusal reasons that the local authority used to refuse the application. As you saw, our planning statements are just that, comprehensive, robust, and you cannot underestimate the importance of the amount of detail in the appeal statement. It is your last chance to convince the Planning Inspectorate why your appeal should be approved. The local authority does not have the right to respond to householder appeal statements. They are reliant on the documents published and the refusal reasons stated in their decision notice. No other parties can provide additional argument at this stage either. And they are also reliant in what was submitted as part of the appeal. This prevents NIMBYs from motorising mass objections and introducing prejudicial information to the case at a late stage. We at Hill Planning have a very structured approach to appealing householder planning refusals. This starts initially with our planning team working through the officer's delegated report. This is the report the planning officer created and used to come to the decisions to refuse the application in the first place, taking apart section by section anything negative and undermining the planning officer's thought process wherever possible. Where policies have been mentioned, we deep dive into each policy, ensuring that each policy has been represented correctly. It is often found that misrepresented policies, when used, have actually been originally produced for an alternative reasons, and in fact does not say what the officer was referring it did. This needs to be shown and demonstrated, helping undermine the credibility of the refusal. The next stage in our process is dealing with the legally binding decision notice that was issued by the local authority. Many people, when they receive a refusal notice, they attempt to re-engage with the planning officer to try and address and clarify the reasons used for refusal. Unfortunately, the local authority cannot legally change the decision once it's been issued, and the options available are simply to either reapply with a revised application taking into account the refusal reasons or appeal to the Planning Inspectorate. Remember, the clock is ticking for an appeal from the date the decision was issued. So if you are minded to appeal, it is important to start the process as soon as possible. Working through the decision notice can cause some duplication, but that's okay, as it's underlining to the inspector the reasons why the application should have been approved. Also, we bring both local and national supporting policies into play and detailed reasonings as to why the findings of the planning officer were wrong, and in fact this development is normally perfectly acceptable. Our approach for producing appeal documents that go into great detail of work throughout the refusal reasons, officers' reports and policies in detail, and to supply supporting cases where the inspectorate has granted appeals is absolutely invaluable. This gives our client your best chance of success. Admittedly, it does take longer to produce an appeal to this level of detail and will increase the cost slightly by going into that level of detail. But it is that attention to detail that is absolutely paramount. As an organisation, Heal Planning is one of the leading appeal specialists with both dedicated in-house planning and legal teams whose job it is to win your case. Both these skill sets are invaluable to produce a robust and compelling case to gain a win. You won't find many organisations in our industry that have both these skill sets, a planning and a legal team, and is most definitely the reason why we have the success rate we do. Without appealing your planning refusal, you cannot gain the permission you are seeking. Your appeal will go to the Planning Inspectorate. They're a government-based organisation that is appointed by the Secretary of State to handle all types of planning appeals. Based out of Bristol and covering England and Wales, the Planning Inspectorate gives you a chance of success to gain that permission you are seeking and taking the decision process away from your local authority's planning officer. You'll find a host of videos about various types of planning appeals and services we offer on our website. If you'd like a free no obligation consultation with myself or a member of our team, please call us on 01743 369 911 or email appeals@planningappealsuk.com and give your appeal its best chance of success. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.